In a bull market, I get this question. Many of us Bitcoiners get this question. Should I buy Bitcoin now or should I wait for a dip? But it's more revealing of the person asking the question than whether or not it's a good time to buy Bitcoin. First of all, my quick response, no, it's not a good time to buy Bitcoin for you. If you have to ask that question, you are missing the entire purpose of Bitcoin as an exit from the debasement of political currencies. Bitcoin is a ticket to a whole new world, and you want to get this ticket sooner than later. When people ask this question, maybe they saw Bitcoin's price when it was $10,000 cheaper, and now it's at an all-time high. Should I just wait? What if it drops 20%? What if it drops 50%? Well, it might. But the problem is that if it drops 50%, this person asking this question still isn't going to buy, because after it drops 50%, they're going to say, what's wrong with Bitcoin? Maybe I should wait and see if it drops more. They think that there's something wrong with Bitcoin based on speculators and tourists who come and go based on short-term narratives. It's a continuing game of fiat numbers rather than thinking in terms of Bitcoin. But those people never came to Bitcoin land for the same reasons. They never moved to Bitcoin land, they were just visiting. But short-term price fluctuations and volatility have nothing to do with Bitcoin. Bitcoin doesn't know what its price is, just like a calculator or a clock have no idea what people are paying for their perfect systems of measurement. Bitcoin's utility of money never diminishes or decreases based on what traders want to trade it for. And this can be seen by the fact that over the long run, Bitcoin's price only goes up. The reality is that one Bitcoin equals one Bitcoin. Now, some people hate this because they say, yeah, well, $1 also equals $1. No, it doesn't. One Bitcoin is one of 21 millionth of the network. Because there will only ever be 21 million Bitcoin in the denominator of the network, if you have one Bitcoin, you have one of 21 million. That never changes. So one Bitcoin does always equal one Bitcoin. That fraction will never change. In dollars, you have $1 of what? What's the supply? It's not knowable. We don't know when it increases because the central banks and the government continue to make more and more dollars. They continue to inject at will, at whim, whenever they feel like it and whenever they think they need to stimulate the economy. So $1 does not equal $1 because $1 continues to debase and dilute and devalue and deplete. $1 today in purchasing power is not $1 of yesterday or tomorrow. So as long as you are saving in dollars, you will always be better off converting those dollars into Bitcoin and saving that time and energy. And rather than have to travel north, south, east, or west, you can travel up. Anyone, anywhere in the world, they leave fiat on the ground and they go into cyberspace to accept Bitcoin and live on a Bitcoin standard. And so Bitcoin allows us to price everything back in the fiat clown world cheaper and cheaper because Bitcoin measures all the goods and services in the world against a fixed measurement. Back in 2014, my house cost 1,818 Bitcoin. That's what it cost in Bitcoin terms. 10 years later, in fiat terms, the price of my house has doubled. But in Bitcoin terms, it's only worth about 15 to 16 Bitcoin today. And in the not too distant future, it's probably going to be one Bitcoin. One Bitcoin for my house. So when you save in Bitcoin and operate on a Bitcoin standard, you price everything in Bitcoin and you spend less and less. Now it's 0.005 Bitcoin for this. It's 0.00001 Bitcoin for that. You should be rewarded for saving your money rather than just spending it needlessly. And no matter your race, class, status, sex, or politics, you can travel to Bitcoin land. Everyone is invited. But because Bitcoin land is the only place that exists that has an incorruptible freezer that is cold enough to keep the ice cubes that you earn and pay taxes in from melting, you want to adopt Bitcoin land's perfect freezers. Because the freezers that you have in the fiat world can't get cold enough. Your ice cubes melt, and depending on what country you live in, they melt at varying degrees. All of the fiat freezers are centrally controlled and connected to governments. and governments turn up the thermostat to melt ice cubes in different jurisdictions and geographies at different rates. This cannot happen in Bitcoin land. In Bitcoin land, everyone owns their own freezer, holds their own ice cubes. They are responsible, but it will keep those ice cubes cold and frozen as long as anyone chooses to do so. This is the big idea with Bitcoin. This is why you want to reframe buying Bitcoin as selling dollars. So when I hear the question from someone, is now a good time to buy Bitcoin? What I hear is now a good time to sell dollars? Well, yes, it's always a good time to sell dollars. There will come a time when no one will want your dollars. Businesses won't want your dollars. Employees won't want your dollars. People will want Bitcoin. Why would they take dollars when they can have Bitcoin? People that have Bitcoin are going to think about what they spend it on. They're going to want to give up as little as possible. Now, they're going to value quality and buy only those things that they need. This honors money, so it honors our decisions and our choices. Bitcoin's market price is going to crash. It's going to dip. There are going to be sales, but wow, what an opportunity. You get to convert even more of your dollars into Bitcoin. There is less than 1% adoption that has traveled to Bitcoin land. So you are still very early. Once you realize you can unplug, the question is, how do I unplug as fast as possible to live the life I've always wanted to? Now, in practical terms, because I know you are asking, any amount of dollars that you are saving in that you do not need for at least 4 years, put that into Bitcoin. It doesn't matter what the price is. No one who has ever saved in Bitcoin on a 4+ year time frame has lost any value. If you're price sensitive on any time frame less than 4 years, I would really ask yourself about your priority. If your gym membership suddenly is 50% off, do you stop going to the gym? Do you sell your gym membership? Or do you maybe pick up an extra one for your family? If the value of your house goes down by 50%, do you suddenly move? No, you're gonna stay there. The utility of your gym membership, the utility of your house continues to remain the same. The market prices, the market fluctuations, take advantage of those. If you're gonna panic in the short term over prices, maybe you're not ready to travel to Bitcoin land just yet. But until you see Bitcoin as the place, as the destination that you want to be, you will never be happy. We all are on the same team. We all get to increase our purchasing power at the exact same rate, regardless of how much we have. We are all on an elevator going up a building with no top floor, and we get to do this together as a team. Ultimately, the real question isn't when should I buy Bitcoin? The real question is why should I buy Bitcoin? And until one understands the why of Bitcoin, they will panic sell, they will be price sensitive, they will get scared, they will listen to media misinformation because they are not viewing Bitcoin as money. Doing your own research, it will teach you patience, commitment, and confidence in pure freedom money so that you can do what you were always meant to do. Bitcoin is a protest against the counterfeit class. It says you can no longer steal from my future self. It's a protest against the too big to fail corporations who don't have to be accountable while you do. It's a protest against the cantillionaires who are first in line to receive free or cheap money while your expenses only go up. Bitcoin is the once and for all solution to this problem. In sum, the best time to buy Bitcoin is in a bear market. But until you learn the why of Bitcoin, you're gonna be too scared. The second best time to buy is in a bull market. But if you haven't learned about Bitcoin, you're gonna be too scared. Anyone who has studied and done the work and learned why Bitcoin is so important for the world continues to buy Bitcoin. They buy the bottom, they buy the top, they buy everything in between because as long as they are earning fiat, they want to convert that to the best and hardest money possible.